And now you know the rest of the story.
Welcome back to the rest of the story. Well, here's another chapter of the year-to-year life of a farmer, or day-to-day life of a farmer. So you can see we're out in the middle of nowhere. At least that's what it feels like at times. Granted, I can see the field. But Ryan and I are running fences. We should be done in another day and a half, the rate we're going. We made some pretty good progress, but the problem is you really shouldn't say that, at least not out loud, because the fences and I guess that's being a little superstitious, but as soon as you start to think it's going your way, it goes the other. And Ryan got a good ways ahead of me because he's carrying the chainsaw and I was finishing up patching a piece of fence. But we're doing actually a pretty bad stretch. Pretty nasty stretch, I should say. As in, the fence isn't bad. I'm walking it right now, but it's just the terrain we're in because I can't flip my camera around, but see the hill right there? That drops off pretty drastically. It's a pretty steep walk just coming up it because it goes up about 90 feet in a short matter of time, and it's just a lot of ups and downs. What'd you find? Wires. Right, and as I said, this fence we're on is really variable because, like I said, we just had a pretty well straight up climb. Got to the top of the hill and now you guys can see around me, we're on the hillside, but now we're going back down. Where's Ryan at? Behind the chainsaw. Right there. And that's all pretty well downhill. But then once we get down to the bottom of this, into a little bit of a ravine, we go right back up. And then I think we go sideways along the hill for a while, which gets kind of sketchy. But I gotta keep moving, otherwise he's gonna get ahead of me. So, a little side note, for anybody that's wondering why we might be doing the fencing a little bit early, or kind of early, we probably won't have the cows out in the pasture for a while yet. But the reason we're doing this now is because you can see the fences a lot easier, as opposed to, you see like right, oh, believe it or not, there's a fence in there. Just take my word for it. Oy. And it's a lot easier to check the fence from a distance or as you're walking through here without having to dig through the brush. Whoa. Just to see if the fence is there. And then on top of it, trying to find broken wires or anything else like that when you're trying to patch it. So, it can go the other way on you pretty quick. And I got to cut a tree off. Ryan's up there trying to get a picture of Rocket to sit still. Yeah. Dog might be getting old, but he's got a lot of spunk in him yet. A lot of life. But I don't know, cameras don't do this justice, and I know this is my cell phone, but it definitely keeps you feeling young having to walk through all this. And honestly, it seems like we just did this not that long ago. But when it comes to the fences, a lot of our fences have been here a lot longer than Ryan and I have been on this earth. And to be quite honest, we already got about half of them run. But from what we've seen so far, and it's pretty typical with most years, the biggest problems that we're having are from deer and trees. The actual cattle themselves really don't bother the fences that much. I mean, as long as there isn't too much for them to really reach through for, and they have plenty of feed on our side of the fence, they don't bother. I mean, hope I'm not putting my foot in my mouth because we got a bunch of new beef heifers that are going to be new to some of our fences. But they got a few older cows there of Ryan's. We're hoping we'll kind of show them the ropes and kind of guide them around. But yeah, the worst thing you can really come up on is when you find a big old tree, like right there, that one falls on the fence. Those are usually pretty fun. But that one's really not that bad because it doesn't have a whole lot of limbs and everything jutting out. We just cut one off this morning that it was a big old oak tree. And well, it's probably right up there in age with a lot of my older viewers. And granted it was completely on its side, it still had limbs about 30 feet over my head when I was cutting it off. I mean, that kind of stuff kind of concerns me. And I know I'm sweating here, but it's not just from exercise. Okay, most of it's probably from the exercise I'm getting, but it was like 62 out, and yes, I'm still wearing essentially my winter clothes yet. Heavy coat. I do have the chaps on, which are getting kind of rough. The chaps actually serve more than one purpose. First and foremost, it is for using the chainsaw, cutting with the chainsaw, but what they actually help with the most is the brush. Getting through the thorn bushes and everything, because even though we are on cow paths that the cows do have cleared out to a certain degree, all the brush and everything likes to lay over on the paths, and the cows are a lot better at ducking their heads down and getting along these fences a lot better. I can't even feel my... We got our two handy farm dogs here. That right, buddy? Definitely two differences in farm dogs. So Rocket, he'll chase the gator around all day long, especially when Ryan was dropping me off at one end of a fence and going to pick me up on the other side. Rocket stuck right with the gator. I mean, partly maybe because Ryan was in it, but Calvin here, he's my buddy. He's my dog. I mean, he's really loyal to me, that's for sure. He didn't even think twice about following the gator. He just kind of trudges right along with us. But the goal is, we're pushing, trying to get fencing done, and it really isn't as bad as it used to be because we're not checking as many fences as we used to. But the goal is to get this done so we can start focusing on machinery work, repairs, maintenance, and field tillage. I don't know, hopefully, I'm thinking Ryan's going to be filming. I don't think I'll have much of anything, if anything, on it. But Crop Max is planning on coming down tomorrow. Andrew just stopped us along the road here, and then we were talking about checking all of our maps so to make sure that they are ready to go for spreading fertilizer. So it has dried out enough that they can go ahead and do that. Yet again, it is currently, I think we're like 2 days away from April 1st. I mean, forgive me, I really don't watch the calendar anymore. Every day is Monday or it's a Friday to me anymore. Especially that the snow's gone and we can start getting around and doing some stuff. Fencing is right at the top of the list because nothing is worse to me than working to try to get done with planting corn and beans and getting done with field work, potentially starting with first crop and then having to go and fight everything in the woods just to check fence. So, busted wire. Oh, yeah, and that happens a lot too. Oh, place that one all together. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. The year's really starting to pick up. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.